what is the most life-changing, life-altering sort of call that you've ever run? Something that lives with you today.
Okay, so the problem is that I'm going to say it, right? But I hope, I mean, anyone else listening is going to be like, that's corny. It's corny, but sometimes it's the small little corny things that really resonate in your head, right? So the one that I have was I went to this homeowner's house. I was in this house. I was in this house, and I went in. This was probably maybe 6, 7 years in the game. All right, so I kind of was just like a young kind of whippersnapper, right? You're out there trying to make money. You're turning your nose to the grindstone. You just want to win it, right? You want to get that bag, right? Or whatever they say now. So I'm in there, and I found a crack in this lady's heat exchanger, right? And it was pretty bad. Like, cracking the heat exchanger, to everyone listening, would be, the firebox is totally cracked on the inside of the furnace and it leaks carbon
Your
monoxide.
furnace is done. Your furnace is done. It's an
Furnace is done.
unsafe condition that your furnace is done. Yeah.
Yep. Your appliance is finished, right? So I go there and I find this crack, and I, immediately run up the stairs. I mean, I'm like a kid in a candy store, right? So I run upstairs and I'm like, oh, Cindy, I think her name was. And I'm like, Cindy, I got to show you something downstairs. I got to bring you downstairs. I got to show you what I found. And, quickly I brought her downstairs and I grabbed my camera and I shove it in the furnace, and I'm kind of showing her the crack and showing her why she should replace her furnace, and telling her, it needs to be replaced ASAP. It's a safety hazard, all these scare tactics and everything. And the lady, Cindy, we'll call her, I'm pretty sure that was her name. Cindy goes to me. She goes, can I just kind of pump the brakes on this a little bit? Can I just have a talk with you? And I said, yeah, sure. What do you want to talk about? And she says, listen, she goes, I get it. She goes, I know my furnace is unsafe. I'm going to replace my furnace, whether it's with you, whether it's with anyone else, it's going to happen. She goes, but have you ever heard of empathy? She says to me. I was like, empathy. What are you talking about? So that's how, green I was in the game. I knew how to fix a furnace, but I didn't know how to really talk to a customer that way. So anyway, she goes, what empathy is to put yourself into somebody's shoes. She goes, now I want you to put yourself in my shoes, right? I'm going to have to replace this. It's going to be thousands and thousands of dollars. And you have a smile on your face ear to ear. She goes, now, I don't know if you get some kind of a commission on this or a kickback. She goes, but, I know that, whatever you found, you're happy to see. She goes, and, I'm a sales manager. I lead sales. And, you need to learn what that is. And that for me was life-changing. Now, again, I know it's kind of corny. I know it's not probably what you were thinking I was going to say, but
dude, that is not corny. We need to pause. One of my promises for this forum, okay, because I love all of my fellow podcasters out there, and I love this industry. Everything that's out there right now that's for the benefit of a contractor, fine. Benefit of a company, fine. I'm fine with that, right? This forum is not that. This is not a business building a podcast. This is a forum so we can tell our tales of this exactly what you just said right there. This, my friend, gets me so fired up. I'm like boiling under the surface. And you know why? Because what you are saying is every single person needs to hear that story right there. That is not a cheesy story. That is, in fact, every single service technician, every sales rep, everybody who customer faces with somebody today needs to hear what you just said. What happened was that you worked for an organization that obviously you won, listen, it's a business, right? You're paid to provide a service. And here you found a catastrophic failure. And now you've got, oh my gosh, I've got this big opportunity, right? And this woman said, you need to learn empathy. And in that moment, you changed. And every single person, if you're a service technician, sales rep, I don't care who you are, you need to understand that we are dealing with people. And the better you deal with people, the the more likely the success that you are going to have is going to be, because the byproduct of being amazing and having empathy and doing all of these things, the byproduct of that is then the success, is then the sale, is then the six, is then the gaining agreements and becoming a decision enabler for somebody who's in a tight spot. That, my friend, is sales. That is service. That is dude. And the problem is that we put everything else first. We put everything else first. It's all this other nonsense first, because you're trying to achieve whatever metric you're trying to achieve, or you're trying to create business. This gets me so hot and bothered. And I'm so happy that you told this story, because I would guarantee you that over the years, your empathy, your understanding, and your compassion, whatever you want to say, for that customer has created more success for you than any sort of big smile on your face because you've got now a situation. Yep. Because when the intentionality is that the customer, that the money and the greed and all that other stuff comes first, then that, my friend, is when you have lost. You have lost. And dude, yep. Since this is like episode 10, 11, something like that, that is the single best, most impactful story that has been told. Don't get me wrong. There's been some amazing customer stories.
Sure.
That
absolutely.
Right there is the most impactful.